We are back with Betsy Mayod, president of the Institute of Student Loan Advisors. We are talking about what's happening with the SAVE plan and the state of loan forgiveness for borrowers. And of course, again, we're taking your questions. So just text the number right there at the bottom of your screen. And of course, we will work to try to get those answered for you. So we're going to start here. Where can people go to see if they qualify for student loan debt relief?
So there's multiple programs that provide or potentially can provide student loan forgiveness. The best place to go for the federal programs is studentaid.gov, which is the Department of Education's website. There's a ton of information on there. There's also a lot of state forgiveness programs out there. So in your state, I really would just go Google your state's name and student loan forgiveness, and that should bring up the state forgiveness programs that might be out there.
Okay, we have some questions coming in. Someone asked, should I pay if I'm in forbearance?
That's a great question. So, if you're not someone who thinks they're ever going to get loan forgiveness, maybe your balance is sort of low compared to your income, making payments during this zero interest forbearance can be a great way to really pay the balance down interest free. Another strategy that some people use, and this is very similar to the zero interest forbearance people had during COVID, is to bank the money in a high interest savings account and then right before the forbearance ends, send it in as a lump sum. But if you think you're going to get forgiveness either under public service loan forgiveness or under an income driven plan, then I do not recommend making payments during this period. You're just essentially be stealing money from yourself.
Okay. Someone else asked, what is the income cutoff for student loan forgiveness?
It depends which program you're talking about. So the debt relief that the Biden administration announced about a month ago that we're still waiting for final rules for, there are some income cutoffs depending on which tier of that you qualify for. And you can find out more information about that debt relief, again, on studentaid.gov. But for things like forgiveness under public service loan forgiveness and the income-driven plans, there's not a number of an income cutoff. It really depends on how much you owe. For some people, if they don't owe a lot, and even if their income is moderate, they're not going to get forgiveness. Other people, if their income is moderate, but they do owe a lot, they may end up with forgiveness. So there's not like a clear cutoff for those.
Okay. Someone asked, if I continue making payments during the forbearance, will those payments count toward my forgiveness?
So they're not going to count towards forgiveness. If this is the forbearance that if you were on SAVE and you're placed on forbearance because of the litigation, but if you decide to make payments during the forbearance, the Department of Education has said they'll count those payments to months after the forbearance ends, meaning you won't be, let's say the forbearance ends in November, you won't be due for a December payment. But anybody who's in this forbearance, again, unless they're trying to pay their loans off aggressively, I recommend you just sort of sit tight and maybe bank that money for now.
Okay. Can you still apply for the SAVE program?
You can via a paper application, which you can find that paper application on the Department of Ed's website, which again is studentaid.gov. But as I mentioned earlier, they're not processing them right now. So you can apply, but they're not going to do anything with it for the foreseeable future.
Okay, and we have a little bit over a minute left. Do you have some kind of final thoughts that you would kind of like to add here about student loans and the SAVE plan?
Yeah, listen, I have been working in this industry doing compliance and advocacy work for over 25 years. And the current situation we're in has never happened before. And to say it's chaotic and anxiety inducing is sort of an understatement. The best advice I can give borrowers that are anxious about the situation is to stay informed. Again, studentaid.gov is your best friend. And just try to take a deep breath. This will work itself out in some way, shape, or form. And this administration is going to do whatever it can to make sure borrowers aren't harmed in the process. So try to take a deep breath, and there's nothing you can do to affect it. So try not to let it take up too much rent space in your head for now.
That's really, really good advice. Well, Betsy's not going anywhere just yet, so we are still answering your student loan questions. All you have to do is text the number right here. That's 336-379-5775.